Hello everybody. Today we're going to take a look at locations in Manifold, and we're also going to feature the new user interface that's just recently debuted, which reduces the number of toolbar buttons. Up here is the location button, and this allows us to choose from existing locations that we've defined in a map, or to create new ones. What we're looking at here is Manifold Release 9, and if you like you can follow along. You can do this in Viewer as well. What a location is, it's just simply a latitude and longitude center plus a scale. So for example, here we have a folder full of locations that we've created in the past, which show various cathedrals in France. So we click here on this button, we can choose Amiens Cathedral, and the display instantly zooms to Amiens, to that location that we previously saved. If we look here, we can see there's two layers. There's a Bing Street Maps layer and there's a Bing Satellite layer. And if you look at that cathedral and you know your cathedrals, you understand that you're looking at Amiens Cathedral in France. That's one of the very tallest cathedrals, a very beautiful cathedral. Let us go back here to all of France, and let's define a new location. So for example, let's zoom in here to Rome. I'm right-clicking and dragging to zoom further in. What we were seeing here is Microsoft's Bing server automatically is serving tiles that are coming in from the Bing server. And let's define this location, which is the Colosseum. And to mark that as a location, wherever the context is here in the project pane on the right, that's where the new location will go. So if we choose this and choose Save Current Location, there it creates a location. Let's rename this. Call this Rome. R-O-M-E. It's always a good idea to rename your locations right away, so you know what they are. If we had the context here in this folder and we were to create a new location, save current location, we would have created it there. So we could call that let's call it the Forum. And now we have a new location. If we choose any of the existing locations, such as all France, here we are back in France. Let's light up the satellite image, and now let's go to Rome. And that's the location that we saved earlier. Because location is just a latitude and longitude plus a scale. Here in this case, it's 1 to 4,000 or so. A location works with any map or any drawing or image or whatever, not just the one in which it was created. It can work with any of these things. Let's go to a few of the different locations that we've defined here. For example, let's go to Chartres, which is another famous cathedral in France, a very beautiful cathedral. Or we can go to Notre Dame in downtown Paris, right there on the Ile-de-France. A particularly beautiful cathedral as well. Although I have to say, I think Chartres is my favorite. That's the one that has probably the most of the original stained glass. Anyway, we're not here to talk so much about cathedrals as we are to talk about locations. If you look at this location here, let's go to the one that's used in the user manual topic, which is Amiens. If we look here, we see the scale is 1 to 3,000. What actually is a location? If we look at what the locations are, I can double-click the location to open it. Okay, double-click. And you can see it's just JSON notation, which gives you a center in decimal degrees, latitude and longitude, and a scale. If we like, we can edit this. Let's change this location so that we'll edit this to make the scale 1 to 10,000. When we close the location, it takes effect. So now, if we zoom to Amiens Cathedral, if we go to that location, we see it's now a scale of 1 to 10,000 instead of 1 to 3,000. To see what a scale of 1 to 10,000 looks like, let's go to Strasbourg Cathedral, and that's 1 to 3,000. Go back to Amiens, and you can see it's now 1 to 10,000. We can also, if we like, zoom not just to an existing location, but to a different window. If we open up a different window, let's double-click open this window here, which is the OpenStreetMap image server, and we're going to zoom here to Marseille in France. Why Marseille? Because it's used in the user manual topic. So here we are. That's a view of Marseille. I'm going to alt-click the tab here to undock that as a window. And let's resize that a bit. So that's OSM map, and if we like, we can do is we can click to a location. Now that we have multiple windows open, we see that we have a list of windows open. And oh yeah, let's click on this. The context is there. we have multiple windows open, you can see that this now gives us a choice to zoom to OSM map. If we do that, you'll see that it zooms this map component here to OSM map. And we can also do the reverse. So for example, here in the map file, if we zoom to, let's say to, let's go to Paris again, like that. If we click here and move the context to the OSM map and choose this button here, we can now choose for Windows to go to the what the map window shows, and you can see that this window now zooms to what the map window there shows. So there you go. That's a quick and simple way of learning to work with locations. No, there's one more thing I want to do here. Let's close this off. And locations are actually easy to construct. We construct them on the fly. So let's say a friend has sent us a particular location, and this is just text here taken from my comments. Let's see, somebody sent us this by email, and we'd like to make a location out of that. Well, how do we do that? Well, that's easy enough to do. Probably the simplest way to do it, I've just copied this, Control-click and copy. Probably the simplest way to do that is to create a new location, and then we double-click this location open, highlight that, Control-V to paste, and now we've just updated that location with this data that a friend has sent us. If we now go to a location, we see that what we're looking at here is a Bing Map satellite image that when the satellite took a picture of this particular part of France, it happens to be in France, it actually caught a airplane in flight. If we zoom into View, Native Resolution, we can see that's a remarkably good picture of the aircraft in flight. Locations are just text, and so they exist in the system data, MFD meta, like anything else. So you can see what it is here. Here's Strasbourg Cathedral. There's a text. If we like, we can edit it here directly. So there's a center, and let's edit that. Let's change the scale to 10,000 for Strasbourg Cathedral as well. And now what you see is that when we go to the location to Strasbourg Cathedral, that also uses a scale of 1 to 10,000. I hope you've enjoyed locations. As you can see, they're easy to use, they're very fast, they're extremely convenient. You can copy and paste them from one project to another. You can copy and paste them to text files and all that stuff. You can edit them with SQL, and you can manipulate them in a wide variety of ways using add-ins and so forth. So thanks for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.